You know the classic wedding vow, "Till death do us part." It's supposed to be this beautiful promise, a symbol of forever. But what happens when forever is just too long to wait? For some people, that vow, well, it's not a promise, it's a game plan. So what exactly flips that switch? When I do curdles into this deep-seated resentment. What pushes a wife to look at her husband and see not a partner, but an obstacle? An obstacle standing between her and a big payout, or sweet revenge, or, believe it or not, even just a steady paycheck. Well, today, we're gonna dive into that. Yeah, we're about to unpack 3 absolutely chilling cases where these wives looked at their options and decided, you know what? Divorce just isn't gonna cut it. They chose murder. So let's meet these 3 women. They're all connected by one single horrific act. We're gonna dig into their methods, their motives, and most importantly, the mistakes, the fatal flaws that brought their whole deadly house of cards crashing down. And when you look at why they did it, the range of motives is just staggering. On one end, you've got Reinella Dossett, who is all about millions of dollars and total control. Then there's Margaret Ruden, driven by pure revenge against her rich, cheating husband. And then you have Linda Lou Sharbonau. And her motive for orchestrating 2 murders is, honestly, it's shocking just how small it was. Okay, first up, let's talk about Reinella Leath. Picture this, a wealthy nurse, privileged background, living on the sprawling farm in Tennessee. Her life seemed perfect, until she found out her first husband, Ed, had fathered a child with another woman. And that betrayal, it just completely twisted something inside her. She became deeply, deeply suspicious and super controlling over her second husband, David, who by all accounts was just a really kind, easygoing guy. So on March 13th, 2003, a frantic call comes into 911. It's Reinella, and she's claiming David has killed himself. But when police get there, the scene just doesn't add up. Forensics finds not 1, not 2, but 3 shots fired. The first one missed David completely. The second one, well, that one was instantly fatal. It severed his brainstem. So here's the million-dollar question. How could a man who was literally dead fire a 3rd shot? The answer is simple. He couldn't. That, plus the sedatives they found in his system, made it crystal clear. This wasn't a suicide. It was a murder, badly staged to look like one. All right, for our next case, we're heading to Las Vegas. Say hello to Margaret Ruden. She's married to a multi-millionaire property developer. And this marriage, get this, it was the 5th one for both of them. Their relationship was basically a powder keg just waiting to explode. Constant arguments, his drinking, his non-stop affairs. And Margaret, having already lost a bunch of money in her 4 previous divorces, was absolutely determined it was not going to happen again. For her, this was about way more than just the cash. This was about revenge. And when you look at the timeline here, you can see this chilling escalation of her rage. It didn't just happen overnight. First, there was a warning shot, literally. She tried to shoot him during a fight, but failed. Then, she started sending these vile, anonymous letters to his mistress. And finally, on December 18th, 1994, she waited for him to fall asleep, shot him 5 times in the head, and then dismembered his body to try and get rid of the evidence. Just brutal. Now, our 3rd wife, Linda Lou Sharbonau. This is a totally different kind of story. We're not talking about multi-million-dollar fortunes. Not even close. She was just tired. Tired of her life with her husband, John, who had a heart condition and couldn't work. Their only real income? His Social Security check. So Linda Lou came up with a plan that was just shockingly cold and pragmatic. She was going to get her own daughter and her daughter's boyfriend to kill John, all so she could keep that little government check coming in every month. Okay, so there you have it. The deceiver, the avenger, and the manipulator. On the surface, 3 very different stories, right? But when you really start to dig in and compare them, you see these common threads weaving through all 3. Threads of greed, of control, and just an absolute chilling disregard for human life. The contrast here is just wild, isn't it? On one side, you've got Reinella and Margaret. They're playing for these multi-million-dollar fortunes. Their motives are all tangled up with high society drama and epic betrayal. And then, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have Linda Lou. Her goal wasn't a mansion or a yacht. It was just a small, steady income. The scale of the money is worlds apart, but that core motive, pure, simple greed, it's exactly the same. But for all their careful, cold-blooded planning, each of these women made one critical mistake.
a fatal flaw. Reinella's was just pure arrogance. She tried to stage a crime scene that literally defied the laws of physics. Margaret's big mistake? She totally underestimated her husband. He was so worried for his life that he actually changed his will. He put in a clause saying that if he died suspiciously, his own money should be used to hunt for his killer, and that killer would be cut off completely. And Linda Lou, oh, her greed just got the best of her. See, after John was dead, she married his nephew. But when he started getting suspicious, she had him killed too. And in doing so, she created this undeniable direct link that basically led the police right to her front door.
So, at the end of the day, what was the real price for all this betrayal? Yeah, you can measure it in dollars and cents. But the real cost, the true cost, was measured in human lives and decades spent locked away behind bars. For Reinella Leath, it all came down to this number, $1.8 million. That's how much her assets were worth. That's the number she was so desperate to protect, she was willing to murder her own husband for it. And Linda Lou Sharbonau? She had 2 men brutally murdered for about $1,000 a month. The difference between those two numbers, it's just mind-boggling. But in the end, justice did catch up with every single one of them. Reinella got life in prison. Margaret got a minimum of 20 years, which at her age was basically a life sentence. Linda Lou got up to 20 years. But look at the ripple effect, the collateral damage. Her own daughter, Melissa, got 25 years. Their accomplice, Willie Brown, got 2 life sentences. It's just a whole web of lives completely destroyed. And all of this leaves you with one final, pretty chilling question to think about. For these women, was it really just about the money? The millions of dollars or the $1,000 check? Or had the marriage itself, the very vows they took, twisted into something so toxic, so broken, that the relationship itself became the real death sentence?